Hi, welcome back, or welcome to the Wilder Edit. This is my third video, and last video I showed you one of my journals that I made, and it was a tribute to one of my heroes, Jane Goodall. And I flipped through all the pages, so if you'd like to see that, feel free to click on the link. But today what I want to do is write some things in there. So the idea of a journal for me is, one, it's a creative pursuit, and I get to sort of put a book together and add fun pockets and great embellishments. But ideally what I want to do is really capture the meaning behind it. For me, Jane is really about aspirations and doing what you love and pursuing things at all costs. And so, as you know, Jane went out into Africa, which is something she dreamt of her whole life, and she spent her time with the chimps. She spent time just kind of acknowledging what they did and learning about them, and that's something that I really like to do. And so I thought one of the things I could do was write some lists. I don't want to put a lot of words in my journal because it's really not designed for that, but I do want to capture some of my thoughts. And a YouTuber by the name of Layle by Mail, that's Laylbymail, does something called creative listing. And I thought, well, that's really kind of fun, because what she does is she just takes any topic and she'll say, what are the 10 things on this topic that are important? And I thought maybe I could find some that are tangentially related to Jane Goodall. So that's what we're going to do next. We're going to create some creative lists and put them in my journal. Creative listing is a journaling technique for storytelling and memory keeping, and it's just kind of an easy way to get your thoughts out on paper. So we're going to look at the journal that I showed you in the last video. We're going to flip through and find some places where I could do some creative listing. Now, I put some cards in here, so that would be an easy place to make a list. I could use the back side of a postcard. Here's another little card that would make space for a list. Now, I could also do lists inside cards like this, or tabs. Let's say I wanted to list 10 places that I want to visit this year in Pasadena. So let's just flip through and find a few more. Now, here are some pockets, so once I have my list, I can tuck them in to a lot of different places. And we'll take this one. Now that's a few for now. I also did a little bit of thrifting, and I found some cards that reminded me of a jungle, so I could list there. And this one, I love the chimps, it was perfect. Now this one has writing on the back, so what I would need to do is put a blank sheet of paper, and then I could list on there. Now, they don't all have to be monkeys or chimpanzees, but they could be other animals from the jungle or from the desert. So here's a rhino. Now, I got really lucky. Somebody back in 2017, Rachel Ignatowski. She's a great artist, and she created all of these cards for different scientists. And as I looked through them, look who I found, none other than Jane Goodall. So I love this one, and I think I'll make a list on here. I also found some stationery, and it's got some stickers inside, so I could use that, or I could glue a pocket inside. And then I found a variety of papers and wallpaper that I can use to decorate my cards. All right, so let's go, let's make some lists. So what I have to think about is, what would I want to list? Well, I could list something like the 10 things on my nightstand. I could list 10 places I want to go before 2028. I could list my 10 favorite trinkets, 10 things I'd save in a fire. So a lot of things that I could do here. Now, this card says, life is a balance of holding on and letting go, by Keith Urban. And I think that's a great one, because it's about, I could look at 10 things I want to hold on to, or 10 things I want to let go of. And at this time of my life, I think I'm going to go with 10 things I want to let go of. Now, the back of this card is a little boring, so I could rip up some paper like this. And we don't want to be too precious about it. I'm going to glue it on here to make things a little more interesting. Now, people always ask me what glue I use, and I use whatever glue I have. That's my answer. But this one is called glue, and it's available on Amazon, and I like it. Things stick pretty well. It's easy to use and it's not very messy. So I'm just gonna glue that on here. Now I like using brown because I like to match the journal, and so I have a friction erasable pen. This is my favorite. If you've never used an erasable pen, I think you'll like it. And then I have a Zig clean color dot, so we'll use this to make some dots for our 10 spaces. And then I also have this Quick Art zebra or zebra marker in case you want to make any lines. So we're going to start with 10 dots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I'm going to write 10 things I want to let go of, dot, dot, dot. Okay, what do I want to let go of? Perfection, expectations. I've learned life is a lot easier if you go with the flow. Needing to be needed. Staying at home. I want to get out more. I live in a beautiful place and I want to spend time. Thinking small. Now, I'm generally pretty much a big thinker, but sometimes I fall into a trap of limiting what I think I can do. So we're going to let go of thinking small this year. Sameness. Sometimes I can fall into a rut, and let's say dressing up, I might stay safe and I might wear jeans every day, and so things get pretty monotonous. So I'm going to let go of sameness. Even sometimes what I eat, I might eat the same things day after day, and I think I just want to mix it up a little bit. Letting go of ageism. Now I am 59, and I'll say I feel 35-ish, maybe 40. But sometimes I think I can't do something because I've missed my prime, I'm too old, and that's just silly. So I'm letting go of that. I'm letting go of limitations. I'm no longer going to limit my thinking through scarcity thinking. I'm not going to put limitations on what I think I can achieve physically. I'm just going to open things up and believe, like I used to, that anything is possible, because everything is possible. What else do I want to let go of? I want to let go of ugly. What do I mean by that? Well, I like pretty things, and if something's messy or something is not designed or it's just good enough, that doesn't really make me happy. So I like to decorate, I like special places, I like to go above and beyond when I serve food, I like to have parties, and so I'm going to move beyond ugly and I'm going to move to excess. And finally, things I want to let go of, along those lines, minimalism. I'm just not a minimalist. I mean, you can tell. I like things. It doesn't mean I like to spend a lot of money necessarily, but it does mean that I like things that are special, and I'm done with minimalism. So there you go. Here's a way to make a list, and this is my first list of 10 things I want to let go of. Okay, so let's do another list. We're going to do a little memory keeping. My son and I traveled from Florida to California when we relocated last year, and so we're going to do 10 states we traveled through. Okay, so let's use 10 dots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now we don't have to use dots every time, but it certainly makes it easy. So we started in Florida, and then we went to Georgia. We were behind on our move, so we ended up going really fast. Then we went to Tennessee, to our favorite place in the world, which is Dollywood. We stayed at the new Dollywood Hotel, and gosh, it's so beautiful there up in the mountains, and we love going to the theme parks. So that was a fun thing. It was worth the drive all the way through Florida, Georgia, and up into Tennessee. Then we went to Kentucky, and we didn't stop too many places in Kentucky, but it was green and beautiful, and we wished we had had more time. But then we had to go to Missouri, and we went up to Branson so that we could go to the theme parks there and enjoy the Ozarks. It was super hot, but it was really, really pretty. The rivers were amazing. And I think one of the things that we did that was the most fun was we stayed at a little motel that was just quirky and cool, and there was a restaurant next to it, and it had a big sign. It said home of tossed rolls. And we thought, well, that's really interesting. And so we went thinking we were going to get some recipe that had to do with tossed rolls. But what we found was that the waiters would come out and literally toss the rolls to you. So people would put their hands up and then they'd toss the rolls and you'd have to catch them. We didn't catch any, but we didn't try. It was pretty interesting, but it was a lot of fun. Then we went to Oklahoma, and Oklahoma is just, I think, an unappreciated state. I don't know, if you're from Oklahoma, you probably appreciate it, but we didn't realize how fantastic it would be. And Oklahoma City, both times we've gone cross country, we've spent time, the first time in Brick City and the second time in Oklahoma City. And we stayed in this really cool National Autograph Collection hotel that was a former bank. And man, it was just spectacular. The rooms were gorgeous, and we would certainly go back there. Then we went into Texas, which feels a lot longer than a drive through Florida. I'm not exactly sure why. We went to New Mexico, and we spent time at the Indian Pueblo Cultural Center, and we watched them dance, and we bought some jewelry and wandered through the museum, and it was just a great experience. We stayed right nearby. And then from New Mexico, we went to Arizona, where we met up with some friends in Flagstaff, and our friends have a donut truck, and it's called Rondo's, and the donuts are delicious, and the town is great, and they're wonderful people. So if you are ever in Flagstaff, look for Rondo's donuts. I'm sure you'll enjoy them. Tell them I sent you. And then finally we drove into California, where we landed in Pasadena. And here we are. So 10 states we traveled through. Now I'll take these and put them in my journal, and we'll do more creative listing in the future. So come back and we'll fill up some more cards. Thanks for spending time with me today. I hope you'll come back again soon.